because there's only one place to start as Klopp begins his farewell tour of Liverpool.
And I can say it's the biggest honor I can imagine to be here. For me, one of the biggest clubs in the world. I'm a totally normal guy. I'm the normal one.
Liverpool have been beaten in the 2016 Europa League final. It was a night it just wasn't to be. Bale from distance. Oh, Karius has seen it go right through his hands. His nightmare is complete.
If the things would have been not that bad for us tonight, we could have won the game.
Taken quickly. Oh, it is in. It's Divock Origi again. He scored two. Wijnaldum has scored two. And the miracle is 11 minutes away from fruition. It is 4-0 to Liverpool.
The best word I can say, but will describe this was boom. Ooh, what was this?
As he takes the European Cup, looks at his players and lifts it to the Madrid night sky. Liverpool are the European champions for 2019.
And he thrusts the trophy, the Premier League trophy, into the air.
If you want to win something, you have to be close to perfect. And we were close to perfect, and that's why we won the league, which is great.
They've waited since 2006 to see this moment. Liverpool have the FA Cup back.
I will leave the club at the end of the season.
I mean, stories in the world of football don't come any bigger than that today. A massive name at a massive club. All of a sudden, halfway through the season, saying, I'm off. 03717223344. Let me just point out now, Liverpool fans, right, that when I say I'm absolutely delighted with the news, right, my day couldn't be any better, that is possibly the biggest backhanded compliment I can give you. Because he's such an unbelievable manager and he's won so much for you and he's turned your club around in the last 30 years to a club that used to be a big head that would look up at other clubs winning the Premier League to a club that's winning it and winning in Europe. So the fact he's going, honestly, couldn't be any happier. Unbelievable news. Liverpool fans will be devastated, and rightly so. Rightly so, because one of your greatest ever managers, annoyingly for you, has decided to call it a day. It does feel, Benny, it does feel...
Like a death.
It does feel like a death.
Like a bereavement.
It's so not. When I walked in the office, it was that kind of... Oh, my God, like Ryan. I mean, Ryan was genuinely crying this morning.
Do you know, I was on the phone, right, to my agent, just having a conversation about some other stuff, and...
Make it 40%, and I'm in.
It was actually about trying to get tickets for England versus Brazil at Wembley, right? Okay. And then he was like, "Have you heard the news?" Like in the same tone as if someone passed. And I went, no. I was like, "No, what's happened?" He went, "Jurgen Klopp." I went, "What's happened to him?" And he went, "Oh, he's leaving at the end of the season." I was like, "Oh, like relax." Like, do you know what I mean? It's not.
But it's that level.
It's massive. It's huge. And again, you know, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but the respect I've got for Jurgen Klopp and what he's built them into. It's been phenomenal. He's managed to go head to head with arguably one of the greatest teams ever in Premier League history, Manchester City. I mean, the guy's got to 90 points 3 times and's got one trophy to show for it, which is bonkers. What did they get to 96, 97 points? How you don't win the league with that is that. But again, that's testament to Manchester City pushing all the way. 92 points, don't win the league. But what he's done to that team and the players that he's developed, how shrewd he's been in the transfer market as well.
Unbelievable.
I doff my cap to him.
Yeah, me too, right? Because, you know, let's have it right. He's an unbelievable manager and he turned Liverpool into one of the giants of Europe again. It is, I think, it's the best rivalry in world football is him and Pep.
100%.
And you don't get that. You don't get that often. You got that with Fergie and Wenger. You got that with Fergie and Jose. I don't think you got that anywhere else in world football at the moment.
You haven't. I just wonder, and we'll probably speak about it later, what that does for Pep. Because it's almost like, you know, when you watch... I watch a lot of them, superhero films. And then...
Wow, this is where you're going with it.
Actually, we'll park that.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean?
No, please use your superhero analogy.
Do you know what it is? Because they've been pushing each other for so long, and when you've had that rivalry, it's been intense for, 5-6 years. When the other half goes now, it's almost like...
no, I don't think it is.
Yeah,
I think Pep would be unbelievable. I'm going to stay for another 10.
I don't think he would. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I think by Jurgen Klopp going, part of him will go as well. That rivalry.
No, mate. He'll be over the moon.
No, I don't think he will.
If you're like McEnroe and
no, because do you know what it is? They're both winners.
I know, but if you're up against someone that you think is your biggest rival, and they might be the reason why you don't win the league, they might be the reason why you don't win the Champions League, and they go, you're like, more trophies coming my way.
I don't know. No, but Trophies are not an issue for Man City. They're coming anyway. But I'm talking about that rivalry with
I know,
Klopp.
but if they don't win the Premier League this season, it'll probably be because Liverpool do.
Exactly. And
Right.
I think he'll miss that. Right, we've got to be better next season.
Who
but
are your favourites for the Premier League now?
still Manchester City.
Yeah, mine too. But Anfield will be absolutely rocking every single home game. Like you've probably never heard it before.
I'm there on Sunday, aren't I?
You're doing co-coms for talkSPORT.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I expect Anfield to be rocking like no one's ever heard it rock before.
But again, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I almost feel kind of sad that he's leaving.
Of course, yeah.
I mean,
listen, I can't stand Jose. Right, Premier League's better with him in it.
Yeah.
Right, I can't stand Klopp because he's so good.
Yeah.
Premier League's better with him in it, without a doubt. Premier League will be worse off without him.
You're talking about a Premier League manager that's third in all time points per game, third all time, and that's every manager that's had over 100 games in charge. Third, obviously he knows top.
Well, listen, yeah.
Who?
Is it me?
No.
Fergie.
No.
Is it Pep?
Then who?
Yeah. It's got to be Fergie.
Yeah,
right.
and then him.
Okay. I mean, that's unbelievable. Since the Premier League began, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Third.
Listen, we are here till 7 o'clock. Now, obviously, throughout the whole show, the majority of it, 90% or so, will all be about Liverpool and Klopp, and we'll be covering every single angle. Who replaces him? What next? Do you expect a drop-off? Do you expect whoever the new man coming in, do you expect him to... I mean, the job that new manager will have, whoever that is, and we'll go over the runners and riders in just a moment, it's almost the David Moyes role, right? New manager comes in on the back of Fergie. It's the impossible job, a bit like... not Arteta.
Wenger.
No. Unai Emery when he took over.
From Wenger, yeah.
It's all... Unai Emery, what a manager he is. But look...
Do you know what it is? The only thing is that Klopp's been there 9 years. So it's long, but it's not that long. Fergie's 2 decades, man. Wenger's 2 decades.
I know, but
But you think-
9 years, Benty,
I get that.
is... Nowadays...
No, I get that. But then add another 10 on top.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Your maths is coming along.
Do you know, add another 10 on top. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh, but no, the job that he's done, Klopp, at Liverpool is... And I'm going to miss him on that sideline. The anger, the
Yeah,
aggression.
listen, I can't stand him because he's so good.
Yeah.
Right? It's all backhanded compliment. There's no insults from me.
No.
Right? If he was a manager, if Liverpool was still in the doldrums of not winning Premier Leagues and Champions, wouldn't really bother me.
No.
Right? I'm gutted that he's not in the Premier League. Premier League would be worse off without him.
Yeah, true,
Delighted
yeah.
that Liverpool hopefully will start getting worse. Anyway, we'll take calls from very, very unhappy Liverpool fans, and rightly so. One of your greatest ever managers has decided to quit at the end of the season. 03717223344. And in an emotional interview with LFC TV this morning, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp revealed that he will leave the club after 9 years at the end of this season. talkSPORT reporter Cameron Pope was at Klopp's press conference this afternoon, where he addressed the media for the first time since the news. And we can cross now to Cameron, who joins us live on Drive. Hello, Cameron. How are you?
Hi guys, how are we? Honestly, my honest answer to that is I feel like I've just gone 12 rounds with Anthony Joshua, because that was the most intense press conference I think I've ever been in. I mean, I've been to a couple up at Kirby at Liverpool's training centre, and normally they are, even with Jurgen Klopp being sometimes irascible man he is himself, they're normally quite sedate affairs. But I got here a couple of minutes early and they weren't letting in the car park. I thought, well, I'll just park up on the side of the road. 2 minutes later, there's a stream of about 20 vehicles all trying to get in the gates. Okay, there were more reporters here than there were spaces in the car park, and it is a massive place. Normally, they put you into a little side room to do these 2 ways after a press conference. There are so many people. The woman behind the desk looked at me and said, no chance. So I'm actually joining you from my car at the moment.
Okay, well,
but
listen,
it's been quite the afternoon.
I'm sure it has. I've got so many questions to ask you. Benty said at the top of the show, and I agree with him, it feels like a death the way we're talking about it, because he's so influential. He's one of the Premier League's greatest ever managers, one of Liverpool's greatest ever managers. You're there. What's that feeling like?
It was a very strange atmosphere. So there was kind of a nervous excitement among the press gallery. We were already in there 40 minutes before time, trying to make sure we got seats and could get anywhere near the big man, to be quite honest. I spoke to a couple of local journalists and they were saying, well, the overriding emotion is just shock, you know, and there were a couple of telltale signs when the press conference was announced for today that things maybe weren't quite right. But I think it's fair to say that nobody saw it coming. And there is an outpouring of emotion around the red half of the city. You know, he's done so much in the 9 years he's been here. I'd say he's probably the most recognisable Premier League manager there is at the moment. I mean, he and Pep, we've talked about the rivalry between the two, but he transcends football, this man. And so the fact that he is going and leaving a massive vacuum to fill, that is almost like a bereavement for the club. And it was a very strange atmosphere once it got going as well, guys, because because at times it was a bit of a stream of consciousness from Jurgen Klopp. He spoke, I think, for about 37 minutes. It's the longest one that I've been in, and some of his answers went on and round in circles at times, and he wasn't in the most reflective of moods. It was peculiar for a press conference where a manager has said that they're moving on. At times he came across a little bit uncomfortable, then at times he was happy to elaborate, but I did eventually get to speak to Jurgen Klopp, and so I asked him about his plans in the future and whether he's going to manage in England ever again.
No club, no country for the next year. No other English club ever. I can promise that, even if I have nothing to eat, that will not happen. So, and that will not happen as well, by the way. So, thanks to Liverpool. And so that's all okay. But it's too important to do it with 50%. It is just too important, and that's why. And this team is set up for the future.
And that was kind of the tone, really. It was talking about what he's left behind at the club. I also spoke to him about if he had any regrets leaving Liverpool Football Club. And he said, well, no, I'm looking back. And of course, people can say that maybe we could have won more Champions Leagues, maybe more trophies. But he says we built 2 new stands at the club, and the legacy he's left behind is going to endure. And he's become so connected to this football club and to this city now that I think it would just be really strange to see him within the club. So, he wants to take the break. He said 12 months, no club, no country, no English club ever again. So what he does in the next year, we'll have to see. I think a few people will be trying to work out what golf course he's signed up to. But then people tried to draw him on it, and he said, lads, I don't know what a normal life is, because it's been such an intense 9 years. I think one thing is for sure, and it's not going to be the same after he leaves.
Cameron, listen, it's not the greatest line, but really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. We'll speak to you in a bit. There you go, Cameron Pope, of course, talkSPORT's reporter outside Anfield, where, of course, Jurgen Klopp's had a big press conference.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.